great. And water defense, I know you have part of your team here. I don't know if you wanna,
so I have, so water defense. Water defense came out of the fight against hydrofracking, and then seeing that extreme energy was destroying water, clean, fresh water all over the world, you know? And so I saw that water was the way we could, everyone here wants to have clean, fresh water when they turn on their tap. I don't care what your political beliefs are, or your ideology, or your race, or your religion. We all can agree that when we want to turn our water, we want clean water, right? So that was a way that we could talk. I found that to be a great way to talk about these issues that brought us together, that didn't polarize us, right? So I started water defense. But since that time, I realized that we needed data. That there wasn't any data that we could rely on our side. The industry had data, and the state departments had data, the Environmental Protection Agency, the DEP, they had data, but they weren't sharing it with the people. Or they were giving us incompletes, or they were lying to us. And so we were losing every time water contamination issue came up. And so I brought in this incredible guy, Scott Smith, who's here right now, who invented this testing methodology that's cheap, it's easy to deploy, and citizens can use it. And we can put it out through all over the world so that people can start to have an interest in their own water, that they can have control over their environment around them. That you don't have to rely on a state agency anymore, or an industry, a polluting industry, to tell you what's in your water. You could toss one of these things in the water and send it off and go to the best lab in the United States, and you'll know exactly what's in there. So then you can start to have a discussion. So I want to bring Scott up.
Yeah.
Scott's been... So Scott developed this technology. Scott's been to 60 disaster sites, all contamination sites all over the world since BP. And there's not another environmental organization who's sending someone in to do the kind of work that he's doing. He does testing. And I'll tell you, he does testing where he has to crawl on his hands and knees past the rent-a-cop, which is a police officer hired by whoever the polluter was, who's standing there in his state police uniform as a security guard for the polluter, to keep people from going in and taking pictures or testing the water. That's the world we're living in. So this guy, how do you miss him? This guy is who I call the real toxic Avenger. He's the real deal. Sorry to bring you up like that.
Thanks, Mark. Well, thanks, Mark. And it's kind of interesting how we met. I was in the middle of the swamps of Mayflower, Arkansas. Did anybody know about that ExxonMobil spill, that tar sand spill that destroyed a community? Well, so I had come across a way to test water, and I thought it was so simple and no one knew about it. So I was out there testing and helping people in the community stand up to Exxon and get settlements when they were saying the oil wasn't spreading. And you guys will appreciate this. So don't tell people this, but I try to act like I'm not scared of anything, but I'm really scared of snakes. So the water moccasins in Mayflower, I'm literally coming out, and the guy I'm with says, like, the Hulk just tweeted you. And I'm going to show my age here. I said, oh, Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno, and I hadn't seen the Avengers. And then my next thing says, so I start answering Mark, and I'm like, I made this stuff green before the Hulk. So that's the material I was using. So that's how it happened. But really, this is an example of Mark putting himself in a position and willing to take risk, which we all need to take. He reached out and found me in the middle of these swamps with water moccasins trying to contaminate, trying to map out oil and help people. And in this day and age, as advanced as we are as a society, we don't have any way to test our water. And we'll get into this tomorrow. Water's not in a steady state. It's not in equilibrium. Everything we think about water is suspect. And this whole industry, they're gaming the system. So, Mark finds me in water defense, and the next thing we know, we meet under the Brooklyn Bridge, And that was like, there was only 20 disasters at that time. Then we meet under the bridge, and then all these oil trains started exploding too. And then now we're over 60 disasters. And the latest work is that Navajo Nation spill. And it goes to what Mark is saying. This is a crossroads, an intersection of everything. It's social justice, it's environmental justice, but it's everything that's wrong with the country. But the good news is we can all fix it, and it all starts with the next generation. It all starts with all of you. I've never, as much time as I spend in communities and disasters, I have never been more positive and hopeful because of the incredible people I meet and when I see kids taking a stand and making a difference, because it's the next generation that's going to solve the problem. We're just here to arm you with the best available technology to know what's in the water to fix things.
Great.